Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me for coffee.
I'm so excited to be here with you.
So, my guest today is Erica Ballard, and I'm going to read it all because she's done stuff. So she is founder of Erica Ballard Health, where she is a health living expert and coach. Oh, no kidding. I read your blog, girl. I don't feel attacked. I feel motivated.
Okay, good.
Okay, sometimes attacked, but that's my own internal thing. That's what therapy's for. She does the Modality Monday podcast. She is a WTHR regular contributor, and she's co-founder of Indy's first downtown dog park. And I know a lot of you are going to be super pumped when that happens. So those are the high points. Tell me, if you had to describe you, what do you do?
So I'm going to be that jerk that's like, the podcast is the lies we've been fed. The blog is Modality Monday.
I mixed them up.
It's okay. It's just that the title of the podcast is so catchy that I don't want to miss out on it. So what I would say is, yeah, it's fine. It's my husband's claim to fame. It's great. So what do I who am I? What do I do? So I would say that I am truly I help people live a healthy life and a happy life. So my big thing about health is I want you to understand how to add health in a way that helps you live better. So many people think that they have to turn their life into a health experience, and in order to live healthy, and it's nah, boo, it's the foundation of what you do. And so that's what I think I do. And I love it. And, I really do actively embrace what I teach, because I think that's what we do. We teach what we need. So that is an important title for me, because it's something that I have to work on every day.
I love that. I should say we met because through a mutual friend, and I went over to her house for coffee. We see a pattern, and you were organizing, and by say organizing, you were cleaning out all the junk from her cabinet and getting her a healthy baseline. And I was like, who is this woman, and when can she come to my house?
I completely forgot that. Oh, I was just saying that I completely forgot about that. That is right. It's fun to go in and be like, why do you have this? What's going on? But because those are the questions. It's not I go into people's pantries or lives and I'm like, let me pull everything out. It's I read this recently. Every unhealthy habit feeds your brain what it needs. So understanding why these different things exist in your life, in your pantry, and whatever, is a really important point, to help people understand how to fill it, what to do differently, all that kind of stuff.
I love it. So, how'd you get to how did you get to this point? I mean, because I hit 5 things. So health, podcaster, which I guess those go together, WTHR, regular contributor, but then dog park founder. How'd we get on this journey? How'd we get here?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the quick and dirty of it is for probably everyone who ever tries to get healthy, I wanted to get healthy because on the superficial level, I wanted a certain body, right? I wanted to look a certain way. But now I can openly admit it's because I wanted to get happy. Because health was the missing link to my happiness, since I had the career, I had the friends, I had the boyfriend at the time, I had I lived in the city, I had all the things. I was oh, well, I'm overweight or a little overweight, and so that must be it. If I just fix this, everything will fall into place. It did not, but it definitely taught me how to live more fully in myself and understand that I'm the expert. So for me, it was a decade-long journey of trying to get healthy, working in public health, healthcare, believing everything that we have been sold by, medical establishment, government, all of that stuff, because I'm such a rule follower, realizing that 80% of it's bullshit, maybe even 90, but a lot of it is not true. Well-intentioned for some, not for others. Realize that, came to understand that my health is so much more than my body. It's mind, body, spirit, and really have been on a journey to learn all this stuff. And once you learn it, you want to teach it. Because if, like, I had a call yesterday with someone who's like, do I sound crazy? I'm like, yeah, but I did too. So it's cool. Like, that was the piece of it, is like getting out of my head and actually enjoying the experience in which we're in. And so that was how essentially I got to coaching, was doing it for myself, understanding there was a different way, being willing to like not follow these different rules. Came to coaching. And then this entrepreneurial journey is, man, it's the fastest way to self-growth on the planet. So what this was really figuring out what I wanted to create, what legacy I wanted to leave behind, how I wanted to be helpful. And it always came back to content for me. Like, I love to create. I was a journalism major. I think like you, I think I'm funny. So like, you know what I mean? Like doing these.
Totally think I'm funny.
Yeah, I think I'm hilarious. So it's sharing health in a way that's like a little lighthearted, but direct and forward, and just having fun with that. And then the dog park piece of it, honestly, came because like I mean, I think I just have like in my blood that like I want to serve. And when I moved from the East Coast, because like for that decade of struggle, I was in Boston and DC, I moved to downtown and was like, oh, I'm going to have a dog park. Because I never thought one doesn't have a dog park. And turns out we didn't. It's been a 3-year journey where I learned way more than I've ever wanted to about the city government. And that was my dad's stuff. That was not supposed to be mine. And I learned it. And I will never get another dog park ever again, but I will happily give people the blueprint. But it was a need in the community.
Yeah.
Like every good entrepreneur, you see a problem, you're like, I'll do it. How hard can it be? Yep. And you learn how to persevere. And I think for me, the universal cues, I tried to give up like 15 times, and it was like, here you go again. Remember, you're doing this. Remember, you're doing this. And finally, Laura Giffel, who's my co-founder, came on, and man, things took off.
It's so good. I should say, I love talking to Erica. One, we kind of, we met through a mutual friend, but then we really connected because both dealing with city, me for childcare, which is the wild, wild west, you for the dog park. But I think everyone needs to find friends like Erica. I mean, granted, you need a coach, but a friend where I can call her and say, am I being crazy about this? And not even about health, or I don't have anyone to tell this, but I had a moment where I put a crystal in my bra because I need good energy. And she's like, girl, I've been there. I got you. And and you have someone on your side consistently. And it's so helpful. And I will say, even about, this project, Trace, some of I was having such a struggle with IG for some reason. I cannot log into IG on my computer for this second account. Someone out there might be able to help me. And I was like, I should just do YouTube. And the first thing Erica said was, I think something's telling you should be on YouTube. And it was just permission that I needed to have that I didn't know that I needed to have. And it was just absolutely delightful. So that's a good segue. Tell me what, COVID and lockdown and starting a business in a dog park. What are some of those delights you got?
So the dog park is really one of the biggest delights. We're going to start fundraising in March, and we were like, oh, we can't do this.
But people need it more than ever now.
And you know what? Waiting those few months, best thing that ever happened, because people not everyone has money right now, but like the people who still have their full-time jobs aren't traveling. The people who still are making a boatload of money have nowhere to have nothing to spend it on. And they're like, sure, here's a check. It has not been hard fundraising. Like, I know that that's not what you're supposed to say during this time, but like, I'm saying it. People just have been giving us money, and we hit our goal within 2 weeks. So that was like just super cool. And the other piece of COVID that I think is a highlight is that pause, like whether it was like not fundraising or people coming in as clients at the time, all of it was actually this like huge, amazing thing for me, because it slowed me down to a point where I had to honestly, Jillian, realize that everything that I wanted to create wasn't mine. I was creating a business based on what I believe success looked like, on what I believe I was supposed to do, on what I believe scale was. And like, I got thrown to the ground like at least 4 times during COVID. And that sounds like a negative. I'm so blessed. Like, can't believe, because I got the PPP grant and I had these different things, and it was super like, and it was all very serendipitous about how easy it was to get all this, you know, these different pieces. And I'm just really grateful. And the big highlight for me was coming out at the end of this, or like at least right now, because I don't think it's over, is knowing where I want to be. Like, knowing that, like, to your point about permission, I had someone do the same. I was like, well, I want to create this and this and this. And he goes, why? I'm like, because that's how you scale. And he goes, is that how you want to scale? And I go, no, I just didn't know there was another way. And so being like, oh, someone just told you that was it, and you believe them. It's not true.
Yeah.
And it gave me all the permission I needed to, like, now be working and creating things that are just fun and exciting and that I want to do, not that I have to do. So those are 2 really big ones. I mean, I have more, but I think that those are the big ones.
I really actually love what you were just talking about, not scaling a certain way. I think, you know, I come from the tech world and a little dabble in VC, and my first venture was to try to start to raise money. And I think you see this playbook that you have to follow, like from line A to line B to line C. And it's very, it's a very male dominated way of thinking. I mean, it's just because it works right for some doesn't mean it works right for others. And I love seeing women specifically, you know, carve out this path that other women can finally see. I mean, I love talking, which sounds so bizarre, you know, failure, and not failure in a, oh, whoa, it's in the puddle. But I like talking about failure because that shows that we're coming out the other side. I think a lot of times, and we've talked about this too, is that hero's journey, right? You know, and you see the, you know, the very male journey, very specific. And again, I'm coming from a tech background of, you know, up here and then we fall and then we had a couple hiccups but I'm out here and it's perfect. But no one talks about the fall, even in the books, like no one talks about the fall. And I love talking about the fall because I think that women have a different trajectory, and I want to hear the real hard part because that's how we get back out the other side. And I know you and I have talked about that a lot before.
Yes.
Not your failure, but mainly me commiserating in a matcha. but I just think that's really special, and I love that you put truth to power of, you know, of that wasn't scalable in a healthy way or the right way for my heart, for my spirit, for where I want to go. I just wanted to give a little plug for that. I think that's super beautiful. Okay, these are my favorite last 2 questions because this is just a coffee chat. How can the community show up for you? And that can mean anything, you know, dog park, which you're almost funded on, you know, but how can is it amplifying your voice or sharing things or, you know, what can we do?
One, thank you for that question. It's such a kind question. And really, it's more so amplifying my voice. Honestly, the other piece of this failure component of it is realizing that, like, I really do want to be out more than I am. And I have been playing small and all of these things that we don't want to admit out loud to ourselves, let alone like people on the internet, but sharing and amplifying my voice would be wonderful. So and I love to play on Instagram. So whether it's sharing a story, following me on Instagram, or tagging me in your stories about something you learned here would just be amazing.
I love that. And for those of you that don't follow, I mean, LinkedIn is a little bit bananas right now. I feel like I've gotten 1,000 requests, but if you send Erica possibly a LinkedIn request with a lovely note that you saw her here, you should follow her content there because it's so good too. Instagram, LinkedIn, they're my 2 favorite for your content. Okay, so here's the big question. It's my favorite question. How are you leaving your trace on our community? And that's even a small question, so on our community to start, but I think it's gonna get bigger.
So I want to do 2. Can I do 2? Okay.
Yes.
So the first is the dog park. Damn it. Like it's never been done. There are no rules in the ordinance like there are no rules for a non like indie parks dog park. We are creating them as we go. So that feels like a legacy in and of itself. And I'm so grateful that I can bring that to the community. And as much as I wanted to give up, I did not. So that's the first one. And the second one, and I think this goes more to like a more national play, is I really want to bring healing to people and give them permission to do the weird shit. So floating, using CBD, meditating, going for walks without phones, which all sounds not that weird, but like, y'all know what's weird. Y'all have families, like they have some comments, and I'm saying just like, go get cryo, go get acupuncture, like do whatever you need to heal and be okay with it, because it's what we're all supposed to do. And if we would just get out of our own head and be like, where's the science? What are people saying? And just do it. And if it works, stick with it and let everyone else just think you're weird. I think that like, that's what I want to bring to people is like, I say to my clients and I joke about this all the time. It's only weird until it works. And I want people to really embrace that message through healing.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I need to write that down as a pull quote. It's only weird until it works. Can we get Erica Ballard Health t-shirts for that? I would wear that.
Okay, great. I have, truthfully, you're going to be like, like now that I know what I want to scale, listen, I want a t-shirt that says that. And I want a t-shirt that says clean food, filthy mouth.
Yes. All right. Y'all heard it here. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Well, I'm so grateful for your time this morning. I know your time is valuable and it took a while to lock you in anyway. So I'm so grateful for you to have coffee with me and to sit with me and just to catch up with me and to share your message and journey with everyone here. So thank you so much.
Of course. Bye for now.